Here on the Magic Mechanic Show next Saturday at 3 p.m. and only on AM 580 WDBO.
I could get in my big lunchbox like nuts and bolts and all four shocks with the big stuff I got my buddies.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. It'll be 5 years since Hurricane Katrina tomorrow. In advance of the anniversary, the man who was in charge of New Orleans at the time is speaking out.
Former Mayor Ray Nagin tells me he's had time to reflect. He's much more relaxed working in the private sector now, but he feels like he became the scapegoat during Katrina.
I was closest to the action. I was dealing with it. We did the best we could with the resources that we had.
Looking back, Nagin now says he should have completely evacuated this city before Katrina arrived. Alex Stone, ABC News, New Orleans.
A sunny Sunday in the nation's capital saw dueling rallies on the anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King Jr. One was billed as a restoring honor rally for U.S. military personnel and drew scores of Tea Party supporters.
We are sick and tired of the government spending our money without any real goals in their mind, and we want the deficit under control, and we don't like the health care bill that was passed when 60% of us didn't want it.
Sarah Palin was among those addressing the rally. The Reverend Al Sharpton denounced the Restoring Honor rally as a states' rights anti-government promotion and put on his own counter-rally nearby. Dr. King's son, Martin Luther King III, tried to depoliticize things.
This is not about a left side or a right side. This is about God's side in terms of doing that which is good, just, and right.
A deadly day for U.S. forces in Afghanistan. Officials report 3 U.S. personnel killed, 2 in a bombing in southern Afghanistan, the 3rd in fighting in the east. Also in eastern Afghanistan, Allied forces repelled insurgent attacks on 2 bases. 4 U.S. personnel injured, 2 Afghan soldiers killed, 21 militants killed, 5 captured. A 60-something man suffered an apparent heart attack and died during an Air Tran flight from Las Vegas to Milwaukee. The flight put down in Denver. You're listening to ABC News.
Now, a WDBO news update from Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Orlando temperature is 85 degrees. I'm Nancy Alvarez with our top local stories this hour. There may be new clues in the disappearance of 78-year-old Goldie Robinson, who vanished 2 months ago in South Daytona Beach. Investigators may have found the missing woman's car. The body of Arthur Sheldon was discovered in a backyard in Robinson's neighborhood on Wednesday. Police say his death is linked to her disappearance. Sheldon's body was located in the backyard of one of Robinson's neighbors named Kimberly Smith. She is currently in the Orange County Jail on unrelated charges stemming from a probation violation. Neighbors told WFTV that Smith was Sheldon's former caretaker. So far, Smith has not been named a suspect in Robinson's disappearance or Sheldon's death. Orlando police are working to find a man they say tried to sexually assault a teenager last night. The 17-year-old girl told police she was walking to a friend's home on Lighthouse Circle in Orlando when she was approached by a man who asked for directions, then attacked her. Investigators say he pushed her to the ground, punched her in the face, and tried to rape her. The victim's screams alerted neighbors who ran to help and scared the suspect away. He's described as a black male, about 5'7", 130 to 140 pounds. He was wearing khaki cargo shorts, a white T-shirt, and red shoes. Bidders had the chance to go after items belonging to convicted con man Lou Pearlman at an auction today. Everything from sports memorabilia to platinum albums went up for grabs. These are the final personal possessions from Pearlman's estate, set to go to the highest bidder as part of his bankruptcy liquidation. The convicted Ponzi schemer was found guilty in 2008 of running a $300 million financial scheme. The money made will pay creditors and victims across the country. Lifeguards are warning beachgoers conditions could be dangerous along the coast this weekend because of Hurricane Danielle. The Category 2 storm is not a threat to Florida, but it is sending rough surf our way. Lifeguards are also warning that rip currents could be a big problem. For more on these stories and the big news of the day, watch Channel 9 Eyewitness News tonight at 11. WDBO News Time is 4 past the hour. Traffic and weather are next.
First thing Monday morning, when you wake up, get team coverage of the day's top national stories. News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
The best price, pure and simple. 10 promises we always keep. Every car shows you a nice clear price. Salespeople help you commission free. We love
right now at Holler Hyundai in Winter Park. Experience Hyundai uncensored and drive off in a brand new 2010 Hyundai Elantra GLS Automatic for only $13,990. Every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, as well as the Hyundai Assurance Program. Lose your income and we'll make your payments for 3 months.
Holler Hyundai. So come on, come on, come on. Buy smart, be happy.
Good afternoon, it's 5:05 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network and Paul Barnett.
I-4 is moving well in both directions according to Department of Transportation cameras. No problems to mention on the toll roads, and there is an accident with lane blockage on Markham Woods Road at Moncur Lane. FHP's on scene. This report's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Saving money without sacrificing service? Now that's Progressive. Get a quote today at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
Scattered storms possible through what's left of today, and for tonight a stray shower, otherwise partly cloudy with mid-70s. 91 on Sunday, a 40% chance of storms. Eye on the tropics. Danielle and Earl are well out there, but that'll kick up our seas and our rip current threat through the weekend into next week. In Severe Weather Center 9, I'm meteorologist Brian Shields.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows some heavy showers that were in Titusville now moved on short a little bit towards Christmas. And we've also got some light showers in Lake Mary and Sanford up through a little into Volusia County, going to DeBerry and Deltona and Orange City, and they stretch to the west into Umatilla and Mount Dora. Other than that, things are looking pretty good throughout Central Florida right now. It is 87 in downtown Orlando and 89 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station depend on it.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of AM 580 WDBO. The Pool Fanatics are on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Brought to you each week by your host, Tony Caruso, and his company, TC Water Features. If you have questions about pool maintenance or have been thinking about adding a pool, spa area, or waterfall, you need to call now at 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. Now, the Pool Fanatics.
All right, everybody in the pool. It's the Pool Fanatics with Tony Caruso. He's the owner of Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. And today we're going to talk about everything pools. And today we got the guy with us that makes it all possible for you to swim year-round and enjoy your pool worry-free. From Hayward Pool Products, our technical manager is Patrick Schmidt. 14 years in the swimming pool industry. And when you got the right parts, the right product, the right pool, then you don't have to worry about it. You just swim to your heart's content and have a good time and get out there with your float, your life jacket, and float around and have a good time, especially your rubber ducky. Now, let's see. This week I meant the number one question I had given to me when people said, when you see Tony, say, hey, how many inches of water did we have to take out of our pools this week? Mother Nature got a little carried away.
Got a little carried away. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got 3 inches last week, and we're already about 1.5 inches this week. So either a couple good cannonballs or drain it down to the center of the skimmer, and you'll be in good shape again.
Now, are people draining their pools properly, or are they just opening up that filter and letting it run down into the groundwater, which we don't want?
Well, it happens, unfortunately. And that, if you're using a backwash type system filter, you could turn that dial on, walk away 5-6 minutes, dump out 200, 300, 400 gallons of water, and go, oops.
Yeah, oops.
Oops. So we got to fill it back up and retreat it, So it's, again, only take out what you need to take out. Your pool's proper operating water level is the center of the skimmer. That allows that weir door to drop back and bring the debris in when the pump's running. So proper water level is obviously very important.
Now, all that rain, all the junk in the air this week, probably pH levels were going nuts this week.
They're going up. Very little acid rain here in Florida. We get really more of a higher pH rain. And at the end of the day, what happens is we need to keep that pH in balance. If we don't keep that pH in balance, the chlorine is not effective. If you're using tablet chlorine, for instance, remember, the best you're going to get, if that pH is at 7.4, is 66% effective, which really means 33% of that chlorine is really not effective because it has no value to it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, too. You brought up a very interesting point last week, and I had so many people comment on it this week. We were talking about taking your pool sample or the sample that you take out of your hot tub to the local corner guy and having him analyze it. what happens to that water between the time you take it from your pool and it gets to him can really make a difference.
Huge difference. You usually stop at the grocery store, and you might stop at the parts store. You might go to the gas station. The water sample's in the car or the trunk. It gets heated up. And when it gets heated up, it changes the value of your water chemistry. Some things are not going to change, but your chlorine count could be off. Your pH could be off. Typically, your stabilizer and calcium are going to be pretty solid. They don't change much, but temperature changes everything. Everything all your chemistry is based on water temperature.
Mm-hmm.
The hotter the water is, the more chlorine demand you're going to have. The colder it is, the less you're going to have. So all that's relative. Believe it or not, I did retail for 10 years. And I'd have people, it's been in this trunk for 4 hours, Well, you need to go back and give me a fresh sample if you want an accurate result. And I was adamant about giving proper results. We did a little bit more than your typical pool supply store. We used a Lamont system. It was a UDV. You dropped an X amount of ounces of water into a beaker, and I'll have a laser read it. So, yeah, the laser read it because, most males, they say, are colorblind anyway, so why not have a laser read it? And we would calibrate on a weekly basis. That way, the result I gave to you was the most accurate result I could possibly give to you. Nothing better than doing it at home if you have a full kit, but, relying on the retail store is not a bad thing. It's always a great place to go check your water.
Okay, those of you that do not know Tony, you do know Tony. If you drive around Orlando, some of the finest pools of the finest homes in Orlando and the finest fountains that you see all over are probably the work of Tony Caruso. Now, Tony Caruso expounds constantly and extols the values of Hayward pool products, because no matter how beautiful Tony makes the pool, the waterfall, the laser light show, the LED, you got to have the proper machinery going on, or it just doesn't work. That's where we bring in Patrick Schmidt. Tell us about your company, man.
We actually make the products that Tony's actually using. We've been partners with Tony since I can remember, and I believe it's since 1990. I've been working close with Tony for quite some time. Prior to me working with Hayward, I used to work closely with him as well with his company.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys make?
We make the filters, the pumps, the heaters, the LED lights, the control systems, the automation systems that Tony is currently using.
You got to love the state of Florida, man.
Absolutely.
How many pools did you say we got in Florida, Tony? You gave that the first week.
1,200,000 swimming pools. That's permitted pools. That's permitted pools. Believe it or not, there's a few pools in the state of Florida that aren't permitted.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah, that doesn't include above ground or below ground vinyl liners, spas, hot tubs, or wading pools. That's basically swimming pools.
So that's one pool for every how many people?
Well, I'm not sure how many people own homes in Florida, but if we looked at the math and put 2 people to a household, that's about 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 people. Households own a swimming pool in Florida. Obviously, you go down into Davenport, Kissimmee, every house has a pool down there.
Yeah.
So they're just loaded with swimming pools.
One of the most incredible things that people say when they fly into Orlando for the first time is, gee, we didn't know you had buildings. We just thought you had that Disney World thing out there and that SeaWorld and Chamois. We didn't know you had that. And then they say, all they saw was blue dots. I said, that's swimming pools, people.
Yeah, a lot of fun in the backyard, Labor Day's coming up. We'll talk about some things we need to take care of for Labor Day because most people have a lot of entertainment over, big parties, and, things we should do to take care of and prep for this weekend coming up. It typically rains again on that weekend.
But for the cool thing is, we don't have to stop swimming on Labor Day like they do up north.
No, we'll be swimming well into November this year.
Darn right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really 2 hard months in Florida that are really tough. December and January. Could be a little January, early February where the water's a little too chilly. All the polar bear, the club, polar bear members, they have no issues with water below 60 degrees, but I surely do.
Got to ask you this, Patrick, in all your years working with the pumps and working around pools, what has changed the most? What has technology blessed us with that just makes your job so much easier?
I think the efficiency of the equipment, the plumbing, the hydraulics, narrowing it down to how efficient the water flow is moving through our hydraulics, the safety. Tony's a big advocate of safety. He has actually replastered my pool last year. And one of the things that he had harped on me was about, Patrick, I want to change your drain from a single drain to a dual drain. You have twins. I want your kids to be safe.
Let's talk about that because we've had tragedies in Florida before, Tony. What does the drain do and how does it work and how can it be dangerous if it's not a proper pool builder?
All right, let's talk about the facts. These are the facts.
Yes.
There has never, big word, never been an entrapment in a single drain pool with a cover in place. That's a big word, right? Big word. Never. Now, with the covers missing, that's a whole different deal because now the body can lay into the sump, which is called the main drain pot, which can be very dangerous. So if you have a pool, and I went on 2 this past week that didn't have main drain covers, I'll give you main drain covers for your pool. You must comply and make these pools safe. So swimming pools are very safe. That's what's amazing. You know, Fortunately or unfortunately, we're a little older than 25, Rob, you and I. We realize that, you know, we didn't need mom and dad to watch us when we went swimming, but tragedy happens today because of lack of supervision. That is the only way children drown today, or people get hurt, is lack of supervised. Never swim alone. Please don't swim alone. You know, have a buddy with you. Have someone watch you swim. That makes life a little easier. You know, swimming pools, believe it or not, you can sweat underwater. You can go out there, swim, have a good old time, and you're sweating. You're burning calories underwater. So swim with somebody. That's the best way to do it.
In every 2 or 3 weeks, we hear that horrific story, and it's a tragedy, but it never seems to hit home with some families. You'll get a grieving mother or grandmother that said, I only took my eye off of him for 1 minute. It only takes 1 minute.
You know, that's why we come. That's why this in 2001 or 2000. You know, they passed the model barrier code. Model barrier code means you have to have 4 layers of protection on the swimming pool. You got to have a screen enclosure to stop people from coming into your pool from the outside, or a fence that meets the code. You have to have door and window alarms. You can have an automatic pool cover or a pool child safety fence. Now, those are just deterrents. Those are only as good as the product itself. If you fail to watch a child, he can drag a chair over, get over top the child safety fence, and get into the pool. That happens. But I promise you this, if you had a door and window alarm at 85 decibels, do you know how loud 85 decibels is?
Yeah.
You're going to hear this in your neighbor's house. So people get aggravated at the alarms, but if you want to really know that the kids are going outside, let the alarm go off. You'll know the alarm goes off. You know, when we build pools, we don't do a lot of track houses for new construction, but you know, we put alarms on doors and windows to protect you from going outside. And you know, you tell the painter, hey, hit the pass out button before you walk out. Next thing you know, 85 decibels blaring in your ear. Everybody on the job site is getting upset because you know the alarm's going off. But we try to practice. You know, you need to pay attention to these things. They're there for a reason.
Now, so when somebody comes to your company and they want the full package, you're going to do the safety things for them too, right?
It's required by law.
Okay, you're going to install it.
Absolutely required by law. Few pool builders elect for the homeowner to do that. You know, there's probably legal reasons for that, but we make things seamless, turnkey. You hired me to build your pool, and we'll do a turnkey pool. And I love this. Believe it or not, we make swimming pool fun. We make building swimming pools fun. It doesn't, you know, pools don't come in a box. We handcraft these things. You know, we go out and we look at the landscape, we lay them out, we dig them, we steal them, we shoot them, we gunite them, we tile them, we plumb them. We do everything. It's all fabricated. So swimming pools are a lot of fun to build if you like your job. I love to get up. I'm at work every day, 6:15 in the morning. I'm ready to go to work that day. I don't work till dark. Because I try little things I want to do at the house when I get out at the end of the day.
Sure.
But at the end, but I enjoy my job. I enjoy working with my family. That's a lot of fun. All my brothers work for me. My youngest son, my wife works for me. We have fun. We make as much fun out of a construction job as you possibly can. So we entertain our customers. We make that fun.
See, that's got to be good because, you know, I see so many people that remodel or so many people that are doing work around a house, and when they come home, they don't want to fight with the contractor. They don't want to argue with him and say, why aren't we done yet? You guys are part of the family.
Well, we build relationships. I make a few comments or promises to my customers when I start your swimming pool. And number one, at the end of the day, if you are pleased with what you do, I want you to refer us to your friends. You know, it's free advertising, and I love it. And that is 70% of our business is referral. I would love to build your second pool, Rob, or your third pool, which we have done. So, and that's referral. And I love the fact that, you know, in order to be competitive these days, we need to get in front of people. You know, I go out there and bid on jobs and earn my business because, you know, I can't compete with some of these guys that do these $18,000 swimming pools because they're just not a swimming pool that we would build. You know, we're one of 4 or 5 pool builders that has not taken the quality out of our product. We have not changed the way we do business.
We're going to talk about that when we come back. I kid around on the radio a lot on News Talk AM 580 WDBO about buy the best, and only cry once. And, you know, you talk to some of these people and they say the worst thing we ever did was get with blah, 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 blah pool company because we've been paying for it ever since. Not when you use the quality and you do it once. 407-290-0058 or 800-329-5858. And what makes the Hayward products number one in the industry? We're going to talk about that when we come back, too. And we want your calls right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Weather. What do you need to know?
Heat advisories have been posted. It will feel more like the low 100s.
The quick 2 inches of rain, gusty winds over 50 miles per hour.
Get the picture?
If it's going to rain, I want to know what to wear so you don't get wet.
Not be cold, so I know whether to put sunscreen on my kids.
Got to know whether you need long shorts or short shorts.
I love hot weather.
Drink a lot of water, a lot of sunscreen.
Weather reports.
You're the only radio station where we're getting our news from.
News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Turn it on. Keep it on.
Hey, everybody, this is WDBO Scott Inez, and I am here for the one and only Massey Cadillac. Bottom line, I trust them. I've bought one car from Massey Cadillac. I've leased another from GM Bill Hull. And speaking of Bill, he is here, and right now you guys are offering unbelievable deals, including a lease on an all-new 2010 SRX crossover for $429 a month or a 2010 CTS for $349 a month. For 27 months?
Scott, it's incredible. Not only are these the lowest lease payments we've offered in years, heck, probably ever, they're only 27-month leases. And you know what? On top of that, we've got 0% financing on every Cadillac model, and on most of them, up to 72 months.
Wow. Get into Massey Cadillac and see Bill when you get there. Massey Cadillac North, 2 miles north of Colonial on John Young Parkway, or south, just south of the Florida Mall on OBT, and always online, MasseyCadillac.com.
With approved credit, CTS $19.99 down, SRX $29.87 down.
This is the hit show Tech and Talk. Hi, my friends. I'm Ranjit. Chad, next caller.
Hey, do you guys have some sort of formula for calculating the taxes and fees on a wireless bill?
Yes, of course. First, solve this equation. X plus Y squared, where X is your monthly rate and Y is your birth year.
Now, take the derivative of that number.
And any number that rhymes with it, write them on a wall and throw a dart. The number you hit are your taxes and fees, maybe.
But probably not.
The best formula is to switch to Metro PCS. They have a no-signed contract, $40 a month, unlimited plan where taxes and fees are included.
That equation is a piece of easy cake.
Get unlimited nationwide talk, text, and web for $40 a month. Taxes and regulatory fees included. Metro PCS.
Hello.
Wireless for all. Certain restrictions apply. Some services not available in all covered areas. Coverage not available everywhere. Payment fees not included and may apply. Visit MetroPCS.com or a Metro PCS store for information on specific terms and conditions of service, coverage areas, handset capabilities, and applicable restrictions. Nationwide long distance available only in continental U.S. and Puerto Rico. Rate, services, and features subject to change.
If you're like me, you never think about your energy use until the bill comes, and especially if the temperatures are out of the ordinary. Before I know it, I have an out-of-the-ordinary electric bill. That's why I turned to Progress Energy. Their Lower My Bill toolkit has real solutions to help me make better energy choices, so I can save money by lowering my energy use now and better manage future bills with equal payments and online bill analysis. Visit progress-energy.com.
These days, everyone wants to get a better handle on their energy use and spending. At Progress Energy, we understand. Our online Lower My Bill toolkit has real solutions that help you analyze your usage and manage your bills. Also, e-bill, efficiency tips, home improvement incentives, and more. We know that more families than ever are struggling to make ends meet, and we're here with the right energy solutions for these tough times. Visit progress-energy.com.
Courtesy's big Labor Day Sell-a-thon is going on now. Any questions?
What makes it so big?
It's model year-end clearance time, and Courtesy Ford has a huge selection of vehicles to close out.
How low will prices go?
Right now at Courtesy Ford, you can get a new 2010 Focus for $12,900 or a new 2010 F-150 for just $16,900. That's a new Focus for $12,900 or an F-150, $16,900. But you must hurry to Courtesy Ford on Wayside Drive, across from the Seminole Town Center Mall. Hurry! Once these Focus and F-150s are gone, they're gone. If you want a Focus for $12,900 or a new F-150 for $16,900, you must act now.
Wow, that sounds pretty straightforward.
It is. We're Courtesy. We're Auto Nation. We're changing everything.
Who are you going to call?
Call Courtesy! Any questions? CourtesyDealers.com.
Fast traffic alerts sent to your PDA phone or email can save you a lot of time and stress. Sign up for this free service at WDBO.com.
All right, we're back, and we are playing pool time right here. 800-329-5858, 407-290-0058. And we're just talking during the break about all the cool things that you can do to your pool, around your pool, with your pool, retrofit your pool, get a new pool. But, hey, we are coming up on probably the biggest pool weekend of the year. Would you say that, Tony, with Labor Day coming up?
Big time, Us living in the South, we don't know what it's like to go to school day after Labor Day. We go to school here in Florida 3 weeks before Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but what do you do to make sure that when the company comes over and they start coming in Friday about noon, it's amazing how people go to work on that Friday before Labor Day and tell their secretary or their boss, I got a service call across town. I think I got to go. See you Tuesday. And then you're gone. So you're in the swimming pool at Tony's house by, noon. And you got the burgers and you got the dogs and you got the beer and lemonade and iced tea. What do you do to get the pool crystal clean and ready to go?
Don't wait to the day of the party. Don't wait to the day of the party. Don't wait the day of the 20 or 30 people come to swim. Let's get the pool chemistry done a couple days in advance. Let's get the chlorine level up. Believe it or not, unfortunately, we absorb chlorine when we jump in the pool. It goes into our skin. So, kind of like, and this is a nice way of saying this. No one takes a shower before they go in the pool.
True.
Okay. No one rinses off the suntan lotion. No one rinses the fabric softener out of the clothes, the cream rinse out of your hair. We just jump in the pool. Mm-hmm. And then it goes into the water. So let's jack that sanitizer up a little bit, get the pH down, in the lower sevens. Remember, people think that because the range of the pH in the pool is between 7.2 and 7.8, for instance. I like 7.6.
Yeah.
That I'll get it down to 7.4 or so, and I'm okay. I always like the pH to go to the bottom side because all it's going to do is rise.
And the more people you're going to have Labor Day, you're going to have a lot more people in your pool than you do any other time.
That's pretty much the way it is.
Yeah.
So you need to get the chlorine count up. You can swim in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parts of chlorine. Not going to hurt you. It's a little high, but it's not going to hurt you. Mm-hmm. You go to these Olympic swimmers, they swim in 10 parts because the pools are used so much, and they maintain that level. So you need to keep enough sanitizer. You don't want your pool to turn cloudy because you don't have enough sanitizer in your pool and your pH is going too high. So, if you need to extend your filtration time, do so. Get your chlorine levels up, get your pH in balance, and have fun this weekend. Really have fun. But, swim with a partner. Have a great time and be safe.
Okay. Let's get back to the Hayward Pool products. And the great things that they have for your pool. If you're going to go out and you're going to contract for a pool, and for some reason they're not smart enough to use Tony's company, can people ask that they use Hayward in their pools, Patrick?
Oh, absolutely. You can go to haywardnet.com and take a look at all the products and see what you want for your pool. We also have a list of dealers that are there's a locator. For in your area. If you're building in Jacksonville, if you're building in West Palm Beach, you can look right on the website and you can find a Hayward dealer closest to you.
And let's go over websites right now and phone numbers before we go to the hard news at the bottom. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what their products do. And when is it time for you to replace the old stuff that's been running your pool for maybe 5 years, 10 years with new Hayward parts so you get the efficiency? What are those websites?
You can go to www.haywardnet.com. Or you can call Tony directly.
And that zip code is 32825. When you do that locator, put that 32825 in there. That'll take you right to me. There you go. You can follow us at www.tcwaterfeatures.com, or you can reach us at 407-282-4911. That's 407-282-4911. You can talk to Tina Monday. She'll be in the office around 7 or so. We're taking calls then.
And you're doing Facebook?
We're doing Facebook, doing really good, doing Twitter, doing really good. We're posting every day. Every day I'm putting something on Facebook. I'm learning. We're going to start doing some YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got plans to do a lot of YouTube. We really do. I've got a nice little high-definition camera, does wonderful photographs, and I can also do a 2-minute video. So we're going to start doing a lot more YouTube just to let people know that if you talk to my customers, and you can talk to any one of them, how happy they are with what we do. We provide great service, great quality. We want their free referral, and we'll take care of them for that. For that, we'll do that, and we appreciate the ability to go out the ability to go out and bid the job.
So if somebody's up north and you're taking care of their pool down here, you can either do it through your fancy schmancy cellular phone there and just shoot them a picture of the pool that day, or you can say, hey, check it out on my Facebook page. There's your pool.
Hey, we had a customer come in yesterday from New York. He searched all 91 pool builders, and he got it down to 2. I was one of them. Pretty blessed because he did his research. He's happy with what he has. We had a wonderful meeting, and hopefully that'll be a nice little pool sale for next week.
It's going to be fun when we come back. 2 hours this week, folks. What's that all about? It's the Pool Fanatics on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
The station Central Florida turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Orlando, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
On the eve of the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina hitting New Orleans, a casket lay in state at a city location. Mourners visiting it one by one, tossing in cards, notes, and letters on which they poured out memories, anger, and grief from the disaster. A big rally in Washington to raise money for U.S. troops is over. ABC's Vic Ratner in D.C.
It was a family-friendly crowd, many pushing small children in strollers. Organizers had promised the speakers would not be politicians running for anything, and instead they were mostly ministers, and former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin calling on patriots for a new American renewal.
Donations to the foundation associated with the event first go to paying for the rally. An unusual delay for passengers aboard an AirTran Airways flight from Las Vegas to Milwaukee. The plane made an emergency landing in Denver because a passenger died of an apparent heart attack. A former mortgage broker has been sentenced to federal prison for a fraud scheme in Los Angeles. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
I applaud you for taking on such interesting topics.
Opinions. Everyone has them. Express yours with Bortz, Hannity, and Savage. Only on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
It's the LensCrafters semi-annual lens event. We're celebrating your eyes with 50% off lenses, including bifocals, no lines, and prescription sun. So come into LensCrafters today and buy any new frame and get your lenses for 50% off. But you better hurry, because once it's gone, this lens sale won't be back until next year. 50% off lenses. It's another reason eyes love LensCrafters. Valid prescription required. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Does your roof need replacing? Your house need cleaning? Or maybe you're ready to update your kitchen? Big or small, whatever your home improvement need, log on to home.servicemagic.com. ServiceMagic is a free online resource with instant access to pre-screened remodelers, maids, handymen, painters, and many other home contractors. It's easy and it's free. Just go to home.servicemagic.com. home.servicemagic.com. That's home.servicemagic.com.
Good afternoon. It's 5:32 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO, and it's time to check in with the 24-hour WDBO Safe Touch Security Traffic Network and Paul Barnett.
I-4 is up to speed in both directions. No problems to mention on the toll roads right now. And there is an accident in the final stages on Markham Woods Road at Moncoeur Lane. FHP's on scene. And we also have a report of an accident on Colonial Drive at Hiawassee. This report's brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive drunk and you'll be arrested, fingerprinted, thrown in jail, sent before a judge, no exceptions. Drunk driving, over the limit, under arrest. On the station with traffic every 6 minutes in the morning, I'm Paul Barnett.
For what's left of today, scattered showers and storms possible and a lingering shower tonight, otherwise partly cloudy. Temperatures in the mid-70s, low 90s again Sunday, rain chances 40%. Eye on the tropics, Danielle and Earl well out there, but both will kick up the rip currents through the weekend. In Severe Weather Center 9, I'm meteorologist Brian Shields.
And the latest scan of the WDBO weather radar shows some light showers now up into DeLand and Lake Helen, down through Orange City to Barry and Deltona, down into Sanford and stretching down to Winter Springs. We also have some light showers now in the Union Park area, and we've got some south of Christmas near the 520. Other than that, things looking good through Central Florida this afternoon. It is 87 in Union Park and 88 here at News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
When it matters most, remember News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
You're back. We're back. It's the Pool Fanatics. We are all Pool Fanatics. And boy, when I heard Nick say 57, I was thinking about time to talk to Patrick about a heater in my pool. That'd be about 4 months before we have to worry about that, won't it?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of water you like.
Yeah. What is the normal? I know a lot of my friends keep their pools at 82 degrees. Is that about right?
80 to 84. I was on a job yesterday. The customer asked for 86. Pool's about 65,000 gallons. It's a renovation, and she's got existing. I'm not gonna do anything with the heat. She's got a pair of heat pumps, a pair of gas heaters. Let the heat pumps go out there and max out all they can do, and then bump it off with gas. That's the way to do it if you really want to swim in higher temperatures. I built a pool about 9 years ago where the customer was adamant, 365 days a year, 90 degrees. It took 3 heat pumps and 2 gas heaters to achieve that.
Now, what is the optimum temperature for a hot tub in the spas that you create? And let's get the lowdown on the safety. I've read on the signs 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Don't stay in here too long. Don't mix with alcohol. It's your business. What do we do?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked that question. And national law is 104 degrees. They do it for a reason. Because the body starts to heat up. Our body temperature, core temperature is 98.6 as an average, give or take a little bit. Once we, believe it or not, once we get above 99 degrees, we start hypothermia, believe it or not, and we can overheat ourselves. This is a fact. It's undisputed. If you have a drink in a spa at 104 degrees, you might as well have 2. If you have 2, it's 4. It's a fact. And here's what's happening. They put a 20-minute time limit. If you buy a portable spa, you go to a commercial application, they have timers. 20 minutes. 20 minutes of therapy in a spa. You're going, I feel great. Try to get out. Your body is relaxed. And when you get relaxed, it could be terribly hard to get out. Now, people, I can't tell you not to drink. I can just tell you that 1 drink is 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and it gets really difficult. So please, please, please be safe in your spa. They do 20 minutes. Now, if you have high blood pressure, let's talk about that again. If you have high blood pressure, do not sit in a 104-degree spa. Do not. It's not healthy. Talk to your doctor. He'll tell you the same thing. About 99 to 100 degrees is about the max you're going to get.
Really?
Yeah, because, it just jacks that blood pressure back up, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want it to happen in a spa.
Now, with the ones that you install, I know the portable ones, and that's a whole different story, but, if you're going to go, folks, if you're going to pay, let's pay right and do it once. But if you got the built-in spa by your pool, where's the water temperature during the time it's not being used?
What we do is we do a single pump system where we attach the spa to the pool. Now, we'll do a detach, but that means I need a separate pump, filter, time clock, sanitizer. But let's say it's attached to the pool. 1 pump does all. We'd love to do 2-speed technology because we just need a little circulation from the pool through the spa over the spillway back in the pool. So it's the same temperature as the pool, and it recirculates itself over and over again. Now, with the Hayward controls, we just go in there. We can do a PL, PS4, or 8, or whatever. We'll group it together. We do groups. Instead of turning the pump on, turning the blower on, turning the heater on, turn the light on, we'll group it to a single button. Spa party. Spa party. There you go.
Now, will it eventually get hotter than the pool? Can you do that?
Yeah, what's going to happen is we have a pair of GVA's Gold Line actuated valves. They'll rotate from pool side to spa side, kick the heater on, kick the blower on. If we have, and this is what's nice about, we only sell 400,000 BTU heaters. And I'll tell you why we do that. Because if I sold you a 150,000 BTU heater and I had a 600-gallon spa, it would only, on that 400,000, it takes 19 minutes to rise that water 30 degrees. Now, if I used a 150,000 BTU, it takes 75 minutes and I'm out of the mood. I'm done.
And not only that, but it's going to use the same amount of fuel to heat up that water to the same temperature. It's just going to take longer.
Now, Tony, before the break, or Patrick, before the break, we teased this. There was this phenomenal building boom in Florida in the 70s, just post-Disney. I mean, if you look at all the homes in Buenaventura Lakes, and you look at all of the building that went on Kissimmee, okay? And then you started seeing the building going on in the late 70s and 80s, in the corridor around Dr. Phillips and the 434 area of Orlando, too. And you looked at all the building that was going on in Metro West. All right. It doesn't seem like it to us because time flies in Florida, but those homes are a little older now. Their swimming pools are 15 years to 20 years old. When is it time to call Tony Tony in turn calls you, and I go, well, I want to enjoy my pool. I don't want to have Labor Day come up or any day come up and the pool pump stops or something breaks. When do we get proactive and say it's time to replace things?
Well, I looked at early appliance retirement a couple years ago. An appliance, in my refrigerator,
Sure.
my range, my dishwasher. I looked at the efficiency of those systems. Same at a pool, and they all work, by the way. But they were costing me 20 to 25% more in energy. So I made a proactive decision a couple years ago was to go out and change all my appliances out to Energy Star. Every one of them's Energy Star. Power bill comes down on those appliances, $3 here on this, $5 here, $9. It all adds up at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's a long-term payback. But on a swimming pool pump, by the way, most pool pumps are too large anyway. We don't need to circulate your pool 4 or 5 times in an 8-hour period. We need to do it about twice, and I'd like to do it over a longer period.
Mm-hmm.
Longer, slower is better. It's more efficient to do so. Just changing your pump out, save you 50 to 70% on your operating costs, pay for itself in 5 to 7 months. Early retirement on that motor, it's a payback. 7 months. I could lower my power bill if I had a 2-horsepower pump, $70 a month. $70 a month. Let's do that 70 times 12.
Oh.
What's that, $840 a year?
So it's not as much about the equipment getting old as the technology is making it pay for itself faster.
Everything has become more efficient, and so people are changing their equipment to become more efficient, and they're a little bit more price conscious of what they're spending on a monthly basis.
But how do you convince people, Patrick, and I know Tony is up against the same thing, and it goes back to buy the best and only cry once, but you go to some of these places, and it could be a big box or it could be a specialty store, and they're selling some kind of crap, and it's $150 compared to $1,500. And the guy goes, yeah, that's what I'm going to put on my pool because it's cheaper. And then it doesn't work.
Well, it goes with the saying, how many times do you want to buy it?
I went on a job the other day, and they had just had a brand new 2-horsepower pump put on there. And I asked them, who put that pump on your pool? They said, my pool service guy. I said, is your pool service guy licensed? They said, no. Well, guess what? That pool service guy without a license, other than we call it a business tax license, it's not legal for him to change out your motor. Matter of fact, a pool service guy is not allowed to do anything to your pool other than clean your filter, and replace your O-rings. He cannot replace your motors, your lights, work on your heater. By the way, don't let anybody work on your gas heater unless they're gas certified. That is a major no-no.
With as many things as could go wrong, there's certain things that don't mix with water. And one of those is electricity. I wouldn't want anybody near my pool that wasn't a licensed contractor who knew what the heck he was doing.
For those of you who don't know, it is against the law to hire an unlicensed contractor. You could get fined up to $5,000.
Or you could get fried.
Or you can go to jail. Pick one. I mean, any of the three. I don't want any of the three.
No.
You can get fined, you can go to jail, or get electrocuted. I mean, swimming pools are safe, by the way. The electrocutions in swimming pools are not because you had a qualified electrician working on your pool. It's you had an unqualified person working on your pool.
Yeah.
I went to, I sit on the see if I can do this. I sit on the state of Florida subcommittee to the energy tax, where we sit down and we round table and talk about things in energy, what's going to save energy. And the luxury of that is I get to see things 2-3 years in advance before most of my competitors do, because some of these laws go into effect years down the road. Now, next year, it was going to be July of next year, July 1st of 2011. This thing is pushed back to December 31st of 2011. We're going to do the new energy law. Any pool pump greater than 1 horsepower shall be 2-speed, with a default speed less than 50% of the whole speed. For instance, if you had a 1 horsepower pump, the half speed had to be less than half horsepower, somewhere in the 3/8 horsepower, which, if we go back to the light bulb scenario, your typical pool pump's running 24 100-watt light bulbs 8 hours a day. Let's take 13, 14, 15 of those out of the equation. If you can kind of follow the math, you'll see I just lowered my power bill 50, 60, 70, 80%. Not more than about 70%, but up to about 71% is about the norm on a high non-efficiency pump.
So the drift of what you're saying is guys like you and Patrick, who are experts in the business, the people in Tallahassee actually listen to you before they pass a bill? Well, I don't want to get too political here, but I mean, do they actually open their ears and say, unlike with the automobile industry, do they actually say, oh, is this something we need to do?
Well, let me tell you.
Or is it quid quo?
I'm not a politician here, but I will tell you this, and I just despise we're going to concede this in order to get that. And let me tell you, we're going to go back into the GFCI rule, and I'm going to tell you right now, there is 1,200,000 swimming pools. I couldn't tell you. There's probably a couple 100,000 spas. No one has ever been electrocuted in a swimming pool that's been properly, let's do two words. We hear ground. Bond is a big word too. Ever been bonded? It's never happened, by the way. But we have now in a new pool, we do what's called the equal potential bond. It's a big word. I can't even spell it. Equal potential bond. It's a ground wire, number 8 bond wire, runs around the perimeter of the pool, 18 to 24 inches off the edge. That's new construction. Now, in order for us not to go back to the 36-inch copper grid in the same fashion, which, by the way, costs $500 a roll and only hums 100 feet long, we have to concede next year to the GFCI breaker, which is going to add about $130 to $150 to a pool for a breaker that serves no purpose. Now, like this, variable speed pumps are totally excluded. Variable speed pumps are excluded, believe that or not, but any pool pump that's 15 to 20 amps is going to require this breaker. Well, one of the things we're going to talk about here is one of our Facebook questions is what is the number one, let's call it the number one nuisance call to a swimming pool contractor? And I'll tell you the answer. It's a trip GFI breaker because my pool lights don't work. Well, you don't realize your pool light doesn't work until you want to use your pool light. And the number one call is, hey, my pool light don't work. Well, go out and reset the breaker. We went through that orientation. Sure enough. Now, could you imagine this? Not quite 1,200,000 pools, but we go to that GFCI breaker, lightning capital of the world. Sorry, there's a place in Arizona that outdoes us, but lightning capital of the world. Your breaker trips. You look outside, and all of a sudden the pool looks good. Next day, a little tingy. Next day, a little tingy. Next day, it's green. And in Florida, a pool can turn green in 3 days. Now you're scratching your head going, why did my pool turn green? Well, your pump hasn't ran because your breaker tripped. Because, by the way, GFI, I think, works this way. If the resistance going in is not equal to what's coming out, it'll trip the breaker. That's why you have GFIs in the bathroom, in the kitchen, the laundry room. Is so if you have any resistance, it trips and no one gets hurt. Well, we're going to have to trade off and take that law next year so we don't have to spend $500 more on a copper grid, the full grid.
If people saw the way laws were made in Tallahassee and Washington, they'd be sick. Wayne in Orlando, what's your question about your water?
Yeah, the question is, the water is cloudy, and we've been doing all sorts of things to it, but every time we take the water sample in to be tested, they tell us put this, that, and the other. Well, the cloudiness is not going away.
Okay. How long has it been cloudy for, Wayne?
How long?
Yes, sir.
A couple of weeks now since it's been green and now clear again.
Okay, so you got rid of the algae. Your pool started to turn clear or kind of white?
Yes.
There you go. Well, you know what's happening there, Wayne, unfortunately, is you have suspended solids in your water. That's called, we call that turbidity. Right. That's suspended solids. We need to get those out of the water. So has anybody talked to you about using a clarifier or a flock to take that suspended solid out of the water and put it on the floor? Has anybody talked to you about doing that?
Yes, we did put a clarifier in it.
Okay, sometimes you might have to use a little bit more than what the bottle says. By the way, most clarifiers are biodegradable. I not tell you can drink them, but they're biodegradable. You might need filtration runtime. So something that happens when you have a cloudy pool. Cloudy pools start off as in this case you could have algae. You're trying to move forward. You have to have enough oxidizer or sanitizer in your pool, proper pH. Now, when you made a pH or an adjustment with your algicide, I'm not sure, maybe use a yellow treat or something, you had to use chlorine to kick that to make that happen.
Right.
But you also had to adjust the pH. So here's what happens. Most people don't realize before we put any chemicals in a swimming pool, please adjust the pH first. Did you do that by any chance?
I really don't remember what went first.
Wayne, what happens there is you have to adjust the pH first because nothing else is going to be effective. If you don't start with the proper pH, then what's going to happen is the chemistry is not going to go into balance correctly. So get the pH right. And then when you put the flock in the pool with your chlorine or your shock, whatever you use, make sure that filter runs. Make sure that filter's clean. So you might have to run it 2 or 3 or 4 days to get the pool to clear up. But make sure you keep that filter clean because if you don't, you put more resistance on the pump. The filter's not very efficient. So look at a couple other things. And you've been to the pool supply store several times and not getting anywhere. Is it looking a little bit better, or is it just kind of?
No, it's still just mildly cloudy.
Are you running the pool pump just the normal 8 hours a day? Are you running any longer?
Probably 8 hours.
Yeah, I hate to tell you that the longer you run the pump. The more filtration you're going to. So let's just say your pump is going to turn your pool over twice in 8 hours. Run it you might have to run it a day. You might have to run it 2 days. Every pool's a little different, but the longer you run it, the clearer it's going to get. And by cleaning your filter out, it's going to help increase the filtering capacity of your system. Now, I don't know if your filter's too big or too small. Hopefully, it's oversized. We oversize every filter we do to extend run times and cleaning cycles.
Mm-hmm. No, it's. I'm sure it's adequate size. It's big.
Okay, well, bigger is better then. I mean, and not bigger on pumps. Bigger filters are better. Just give you more filter capacity, but you need to run it longer. I'm telling you right now, you got to run your pump longer.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right,
sir.
we're taking calls just like Wayne's. You got a question about your pool, the clarity, the pH, how you figure the pH, any kind of filters and motors that can do it for you. Computers, you name it. What about lighting features? How cool is that? Well, we can talk lighting features right here on the radio. 800-329-5858 or 407-290-0058. We're the Pool Fanatics, and we're on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.
Weekday mornings 5 till 9. Get your daily dose of news, weather, traffic, and Jim Turner, Central Florida's morning news on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. Depend on it.
Hi, this is Ray Forsyth from Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando. We appreciate you making us your official Mercedes-Benz dealer in the area. So we'll continue offering you any certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz for just $6 over book value. It's simple. Come in, make your selection, see the book value, and add just $6. You can choose any certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz in stock and pay just $6 over book value. That's right. You can experience the luxury and prestige of owning a Mercedes-Benz for only $6 over book value. And if a new Mercedes-Benz is more your style, we have the largest selection of brand new Mercedes vehicles in Central Florida. And now through August 15th, schedule a new vehicle test drive and receive a set of limited edition collectible gold coins. Stop by and see us 7 days a week, right across from the Mall of Millennia, or visit mbso.com for full details.
Attention homeowners, your home insurance rate is going up. Again. Now is the time to put your home insurance rate to the challenge with Florida Insurance Specialists. In just 5 minutes, they'll shop up to 30 A-rated companies to get you the same or better coverage for less. Go to ChallengeMyRate.com now to save money. Thousands have taken the challenge at ChallengeMyRate.com and saved money. It only takes 5 minutes and costs you nothing. Don't renew or purchase home insurance until you take the challenge. Visit ChallengeMyRate.com, and if they don't save you money, they'll give you a $20 gift card. Many insurance companies are aggressively seeking your auto insurance. Only Florida Insurance Specialists will shop 30 companies to get you the best home insurance rate in just 5 minutes. Visit ChallengeMyRate.com and put your home insurance quote up against theirs. Call 407-805-0200 now. That's 407-805-0200 or go to ChallengeMyRate.com. Save now at ChallengeMyRate.com. That's ChallengeMyRate.com to save money.
You know, when it comes to professional landscaping, there is just so many ideas that one could have for one house. But it is the experience and it is the artistic individual ability of the individual designer putting it together that can make it fair, good, or what I like to call Garden Rebel awesome. Give us a call at Sims Landscape, 352-383-3303. If you are tired of going out to nurseries and continually choosing the wrong varieties because you don't know how big they get, you don't know if they're buggy, you don't know if they're going to completely freeze out on you, well, we'll tell you the right varieties. You can get them from us and you can do your own planting, or we can come out and our crews can do everything. GardenRebel.com, and you can write to me also for a free landscape estimate. GardenRebel@AOL.com. That's GardenRebel@AOL.
Recently, on WDBO's Living Well program, host Dale Gardner, owner of Senior Helpers, spoke with Debbie about how Senior Helpers helped her parents.
Their helper is a godsend, let me just say that first of all. It's amazing what having somebody come in just 8 hours a week has done. The match was beautiful, and they thoroughly enjoy having her come. But the difference it's made is that my mom no longer has the health problems that she did. It's just made a huge difference. And now the time that we spend with my parents is quality time. We're able to enjoy being around them because the atmosphere is so much better. we really appreciate that.
Hi, this is Dale Gardner, owner of Senior Helpers. Call us at 407-628-4357 or visit seniorhelpersorlando.com and join us Saturday mornings at 6 for Living Well here on WDBO.
License numbers 299-993681 and 230689.
Best price, pure and simple. 10 promises we always keep. Every car shows you a nice clear price. Salespeople help you commission free. We loved cars and brand new dreams. Straight talk and integrity. So come on, come on, come on. Buy smart, be happy.
Right now at Holler Hyundai in Winter Park. Experience Hyundai uncensored and drive off in a brand new 2010 Hyundai Elantra GLS Automatic for only $13,990. Every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, as well as the Hyundai Assurance Program. Lose your income and we'll make your payments for 3 months.
Holler Hyundai. So come on, come on, come on. Buy smart, be happy.
Traffic on AM 580 WDBO will get you there and back again, safe and sound. News Talk AM 580 WDBO, Central Florida's news, weather, and traffic station. Depend on it.
We are 4 minutes away from news, weather, and traffic on News Talk AM 580 WDBO. But don't fret, we got another full hour of the Pool Fanatics coming up. We're so crazy about pools, we're going to take 2 hours of sunshine, and why not, eh? It's, let's see, it's Paul. Paul, what do you want to do to your pool?
Yeah, I'm actually looking to add a return. I have water features already on the pool, and I noticed that when I turn the water features off and add, I guess they almost seem to double the flow coming out of the returns, and you almost can swim in place there. And I was wondering how, obviously I could have done this when I built the pool, but to do it after the fact, to add more returns to the pool, is that really not cost-wise, or, is it really expensive to do that?
Depends if you want to cut your pool deck.
Okay. Well, the one thing I noticed is the pool, I know piping can go around the outside because it's all lawn and stuff like that, and then this coming in where I want it, it's not actually by the pool deck, it's underneath a bed of, flowers and stuff like that. There's actually no pool deck there where I want to add the returns.
Well, let's talk about that. The only way you're going to add an extra return in the pool, we'll talk about two things, actually. We'll talk about, do you really need another return? And two, number one is what it's going to take to do that. Now, tying into a line and coming in and adding another return, it's really not a big deal. You got to drain your pool down. We got to cut a hole in the wall. We got to put a wall fitting in there and a trim fitting, plumb it into the system. And, of course, now you can have an extra return. But it sounds to me that you've got, a lot of pressure under the returns that are in your pool today. So why don't you consider this? Why don't you consider this? Instead of trying to swim against that jet, why don't you take the eyeball out of it, put a little bit bigger eyeball in there? Take a little. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I did think about that, and the problem is the position of where the eyeball is. It's kind of there's two returns already in the pool, and one's on one side and one's the other side. I was almost I noticed that when I shut off my water features, I can almost swim against the return. It just almost like a lap pool, but swimming against the current. And I was wanting to do that in the deep end of the pool where, I might put two returns there so that if I, turn off the features and then, if I just want to swim in place, I'm almost have like a lap pool. And I just sort of see, what that would, is that cost prohibitive to do, or depends, does it get really expensive? Or...
Well, let's talk about your spending a little bit more money today operating that pool than you need to, because if you're going to be able to swim against your returns in your pool, you got too big a pump. So I know it might make your water features mark, but if you had a 2-speed pump, that would actually kick that back down, save you some energy. But there's a huge misconception in swimming pools. Unless you're an outdoor pool and you're trying to circulate to the skimmer, okay, you would sit there at that point in time is just turn your eyeballs down below surface and not swim against them. That's one way. But it sounds to me you got too much pump. And if you wanted to get that pressure down, to put a larger eyeball and point them down off the surface. You'll be surprised how much your pool's still going to circulate.
Okay, our special guest this hour, Patrick Schmidt, Hayward Pool Products Technical Manager. Give us the websites and phone numbers again.
Again, you can look on the website at www.haywardnet.com, or again, you can contact TC Water Features Direct at 407-282-4911.
And Orlando Luxury Pools by TC Water Features. Give us all those sites.
www.tcwaterfeatures.com or 407-282-4911. That's 407-282-4911.
And next hour, what are we going to talk about?
Oh, man, we can talk about all kinds of cool stuff.
All right, we got
next
cool
hour.
stuff coming up, including we're going to describe what an EcoStar product is, all right? Yeah, that and more. All coming up right here on News Talk AM 580 WDBO.